Männer, es war ein langer Krieg. Es war ein harter Krieg. Ihr habt tapfer und stolz für euer Vaterland gekämpft. Ihr seid eine besondere Truppe, die ineinander einen...
Hey everyone, Hydra Head here. This is the Immortal Men #2. So I wasn't a huge fan of #1. If you want a different opinion on it, check out Mim Headroom's video. He got hyped. He was a fan. Plus, he's a better reviewer than I am, so I would recommend checking his stuff out. I will say this one is much better than the first. Say it still doesn't live up to the X-Men that they're trying to rip off here. But it's not bad. I liked it for the most part. I think the start is a little bit slow, and honestly, I still feel like it's noticeable that they have 2 writers. Now they only have 2. They were having, I think the issue 1 had like 3 or 4 writers on it. It was ridiculous. But I'm pretty sure Tinian is just doing plot, and Benjamin is doing the actual writing and dialogue is what they call it, even though it's the writing. I mean, whatever. It starts off pretty much where we left off, and that's with our main guy getting chased by these xenomorph-looking creatures. Reload, which is a guy who can... his special power is he can control time around a very specific point. So he can basically shoot one bullet, return it, shoot it, return it, shoot it, return it. He can just keep firing the same bullet over and over. They don't really explain how controlling time for a specific point allows him to use the same bullet multiple times. I'm guessing maybe like shoots it and pulls it back through, and then shoots it and then pulls it back through. But you would think since he's reversing the time it would reseal the hole, but maybe the time is just, I don't know. I hope they release a nice college paper on it so I can learn more about this power. Oh, anyway, as Reload is saving our main character, we get a little bit of introduction into his past and where his powers come from and where his history lies. And they pretty much do that for a lot of the characters in this. The Realm of Conquest, first house of the Immortals, 1 mile above New York City. We are greeted by our main bad bitch. I do like her costume. I don't remember her face looking like an old nutsack before, but whatever. And she's watching the events going down. She's talking to her men. We're basically learning more about the history of the Immortals here for this whole part. And that could be why it just didn't interest me so much. They are keeping it lively, though, by like showing us fight. Ghost Fist, I think, is a really cool character just because of his powers and his design. So far, we haven't had a ton of interaction with him. Timber. Oh, man. So you guys remember the old Hanna-Barbera superheroes and how the big chief, his superpower was to get really, really big? Basically what Timber is. Or you remember in Mortal Kombat how Blood Wolf, one of his powers is to get really, really big, and he looked exactly like Timber? Or you remember oh no, Blood Wolf is Marvel, Nightwolf is Mortal Kombat. Okay, so Nightwolf from Mortal Kombat, same color scheme, same design, same essential powers. And then we got Blood Wolf, I'm pretty sure is the Marvel one. I don't think his power was to get big, but man, I'm so tired of people's special powers being to get big. I mean, it's cool in concept, but when every other new hero can embiggen, it gets old and stupid fast. But who knows? Maybe she won't be a tried stereotype, and maybe she'll be quite entertaining. So far, she's just been a brutal smasher, which is cool. Then we got Stray. Big fan of Stray. He's just like a werecat. Apparently, though, he's bipolar. So he's either a quite innocent kitten or he's a rabid murderer. Some more shots as we're describing powers. So while... what was her name? I always forget her name. It's so difficult. Doesn't matter. So while she's spying on these people and discussing their plans with her minions, and also why the Immortal Man is such a threat to them, we join our main character back in the main world. And he's running through the main city. Honestly thought he was stuck in one of his dream phases that he goes into, but he's actually in a real world. And this guy that we kept seeing throughout issue 1, I thought he was the Immortal Man, just keeping tabs on this kid. He's actually hired security by our main's parents. And he's also stuck in this city with no people in it. So that's one hint that it's not actually in the dream state. Another is they get slammed and people try and freaking steal this kid, and that's when we find out who this bodyguard / taxi driver really is. We find out that there is still communication. We're definitely in the real world, but it doesn't explain why there are no people. And that's when our main protag and the bodyguard get attacked by these fake xenomorphs again. So our bodyguard, his name's Mr. Clay. He decides to stay and fight. Our main character runs, and that's when we meet up with the Immortals again. So I'm I want to make sure I'm not. Yeah. All right. I don't actually know why they show timber here. I'm guessing this is just a. I got a lot of problems with timber. I don't like timber so much. I'm just gonna ignore this panel. So, our main character runs back into the house where his parents are supposed to be, and that's where he finds them dead and on the floor. And we get one of our main bad guys. This dude is pretty brutal, and this is where this section of the story is where it really turned around for me and made me a little bit more excited for issue 3. And starting to like the turn of events here. This guy just straight up brutalized his parents, summoned up these demons, and is going to kill him next. That's when Reload saves the day. Reload's a pretty cool looking character too. Him, Ghost Fist, and Stray are great. I wish they had somebody other than Timber though, because Timber is kind of a boring character so far. Maybe I'm just biased. Probably just a little biased. But this last ending of this, I'm not really going to talk anymore about it because I don't want to ruin anything. But yeah, the last half of the book definitely picks up. Definitely got me, I'm not going to say hyped, but I'm ready for number 3. I think it's going to be a steady increase in quality. I do hope they narrow it down to just one fucking writer, though. It could be in my imagination, but whenever they do multiple writers, I think it really feels like you're seeing, or like you're reading 2 different people's scripts. They don't always flow that well together. And it could be that the dialogue flows fine, but the pacing and the feel of the story just doesn't feel right. So, like, the first half kind of drags. And that could just be because it's mostly background and history, even though there's lots of fight scenes going on. The second half is much better. Picked up. The art stayed consistent throughout the whole thing. So I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and say I recommend it. It's no X-Men, but compared to modern X-Men, it's a whole lot better. So, also, it's still $2.99 for right now. If you're going to check it out while it's still $2.99 and before DC jacks the price up. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hail Hydra, baby.